guys, welcome into youth group. We are so glad that you are here. Maybe you're joining us Wednesday at 6:30 and you're live and you're here and it's awesome, and I'm really glad that you can connect with us in this way. But maybe you just stumbled upon this video weeks, months, years later, whatever it is. I hope that it is encouraging to you, that there is fruit that comes from our discussion today, and I know that both groups are not here on accident, that God has provided this space for us. So whether this is your first time and you know nothing about who I am and who we are, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're here. Maybe you know too much about me and you're tired of hearing my voice. That is awesome too. I'm really glad that you get to join us today. And so I just wanted to say, let's do this. Let's connect. Let's talk. The chat's open. Let's share life together. This will be one of our last YouTube live services for the year. And so let's make it a good one. And let's be encouraged together. Let's be motivated together. And tonight is going to be a good time. And I hope that you guys will get rid of any distractions that you can and just focus on the Word, focus on this community that we have. So thanks for being here, guys. I look forward to the rest of tonight. Cookie challenge. Go.
Okay. I can't do it. Again. Again. Stand up. Not easier. Hand away. You got this. Patience, young one. Okay, one more try, you got this.
I want to take a moment and just introduce to you some of our new friends. So we have some 5th graders who are coming up into 6th grade, and they're going to be joining in our ministry. And I want to take just a few seconds and highlight them. So the first one is Paige Brower, and you should know that Paige is just a ball of fun. She's energetic, she's fun, she likes to be always on the move and do fun stuff. She likes to be outdoors and do those kind of things. One fun fact about Paige is that she is totally content with just spending the day in a tree. If you could pay her to sit in a tree all day, she would do that in a heartbeat. Another person that's going to be coming up into our youth ministry is Wesley. So Wesley Meyer you can describe him as like a caring, a patient, a gentle person. He has a big heart for people. He loves really well. And I'm really excited for Wesley to be a part of our group. So Wesley, if you're watching this, and Paige, if you're watching this, we love you guys so much. An interesting fact about Wesley is that he dreams of owning a pug one day. His dream dog is a pug. And I don't know if there are too many people out there like that. So I think that's pretty cool. But like I said, we love you guys. Welcome to the group. We want you guys to know that you're one of us. You are a part of this group. You're welcomed here. We want to give you a space to be a leader, to grow. You're going to be challenged in your thoughts and what you believe. You're going to be encouraged. There's going to be adults who are going to come alongside of you and be right there with you in the good and the bad. And so we hope you guys feel encouraged and supported while you're in our ministry, with the hope of leaving when you're 18 years old and you'll be a better lifelong follower of Jesus. So let's, in the comments, let's welcome these guys, Paige and Wesley, to the crew.
Hey, incoming sixth graders. I'm Armando, and I just wanted to take this time and give you guys some words of encouragement as you guys transition from children's church to youth group with us. I know it can be pretty scary at first, moving in with older kids and kids that you might not know or might seem scary to you even. I just wanted to let you know that we're all really kind, and we're all just there to learn about God and have fun. And so my biggest piece of advice is just be yourself. Be yourself, accept others, and be outgoing and be open-minded, and you'll fit in just right with the rest of us. And so I'm excited to have you guys as part of our family, and I hope you guys are excited to join us. And I look forward to having fun with you guys in the future.
Hey, so I just wanted to take a moment and explain to you guys our summer plan. School is ending today, or it's ending this week at least, and we are so thankful that this school year has come to an end, because it has been weird. It's been funky. It's probably one of the hardest school years you've had because it's been so different. But the hope is that it's summertime. We get to relax, we get to recover, we get to have fun and hang out and be together. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We actually are going to get to see each other and be in person together. And that's going to look two different ways, monthly and weekly. So weekly, we're actually going to have a bonfire at my house every Sunday night. Now, technically, we will rotate middle school and high school. And so we'll start out with high school one week. The second week will be middle school. Third week, high school. Fourth week, middle school. You guys get the rhythm. But it's going to be really fun. We'll have s'mores, of course. You can't have a bonfire without those. But we'll have yard games. We'll play a group game together. Then we'll have some worship and a devotion from one of the youth leaders. And maybe some of you students will bring us a devotion too. So I'm really looking forward to our weekly rhythm of that. Bi-weekly for you guys, weekly for us. And I think it's going to be a really good time, good fellowship. We will make sure that we are abiding by all the guidelines and recommendations. We want to make sure that we are safe in what we do. And so we will make sure we do those things. But yeah, really looking forward to that. The other thing is the monthly gatherings. So in the past, we've done these monthly gatherings where we've gone to the lake or the beach or a hike or all these different things. So we're going to do similar to that, but with a little bit of a tweak. So we'll have a monthly gathering each month out of June, July, and August. And the exact what we're going to do on what days is still to come, but know that we are going to gather as one youth group and go do something fun together. I can promise that. So I look forward to this summer. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I hope it gives you a little bit of hope that we will get to have fellowship. We'll get to hang out together in a safe way. So we love you guys. Looking forward to the summer. Okay, so we're going to switch some things up this week. Instead of having a main message from me where I'm talking a whole lot, what I want to do is I actually want to show you guys a video. And it's a Bible Project video. I know that you might be familiar with these guys. They do an incredible job at explaining different books in the Bible, different themes that are in the Bible. So we want to piggyback off of last week's conversation, which is talking about justice and how there's injustice, there's a problem, there's systemic racism, and so now we want to shift gears ever so slightly to talking about the topic of justice. And what does it mean? What does the Bible say when we talk about justice? Are there multiple meanings? Is there one meaning? And so we're going to inform you guys better on what justice is and what God is calling us to do in this world. And so check out this pretty short video on justice.
If you were a praying mantis, it would be socially acceptable to devour your mate.
And if you're a honey badger, you have no regard for other animals. You don't care.
If you're a panda with twins, it's normal to abandon one to take care of the other.
But if humans do any of these things, we would call it wrong, unfair, or unjust.
Yeah, why is that? Why do humans care so much about justice?
Well, the Bible has a fascinating response to that question. On page 1, humans are set apart from all other creatures as the image of God.
Yeah, God's representatives who rule the world by his definition of good and evil.
And this identity, it's the bedrock of the Bible's view of justice. All humans are equal before God and have the right to be treated with dignity and fairness no matter who you are.
And that would be nice if we all did that. But we know how the world really works.
And the Bible addresses that too. It shows how we are constantly redefining good and evil to our own advantage at the expense of others.
Yeah, self-preservation. And the weaker someone is, the easier it is to take advantage of them.
And so in the biblical story, we see this happening on a personal level, but also in families, and then in communities, and in whole civilizations that create injustice, especially towards the vulnerable. But the story doesn't end there. Out of this whole mess, God chose a man named Abraham to start a new kind of family. Specifically, Abraham was to teach his family to keep the way of the Lord by doing righteousness and justice.
Yeah, doing righteousness, that's a Bible word I don't really use, but what comes to mind is being a good person.
But what does that even mean, being good? The biblical Hebrew word for righteousness is tzedakah, and it's more specific. It's an ethical standard that refers to right relationships between people. It's about treating others as the image of God,
with the God-given dignity they deserve.
And this word justice, it's the Hebrew word mishpat. It can refer to retributive justice.
Like if I steal something, I pay the consequences.
Exactly. Yet most often in the Bible, mishpat refers to restorative justice. It means going a step further, actually seeking out vulnerable people who are being taken advantage of and helping them.
Yeah, some people call this charity.
But mishpat involves way more. It means taking steps to advocate for the vulnerable and changing social structures to prevent injustice.
So justice and righteousness are about a radical, selfless way of life.
Yeah, and you find this idea all over the Bible. Like here, in the book of Proverbs, what does it mean to bring about just righteousness?
Open your mouth for those who can't speak for themselves.
And what do these words mean for the prophets, like Jeremiah?
Rescue the disadvantaged, and don't tolerate oppression or violence against the immigrant, the orphan, and the widow.
And like here, look in the book of Psalms.
The Lord God upholds justice for the oppressed, gives food to the hungry, and sets the prisoner free. But he thwarts the way of the wicked. Whoa, he thwarts the wicked?
Yeah, in Hebrew, the word wicked is rasha. It means guilty or in the wrong. It refers to someone who mistreats another human, ignoring their dignity as an image of God.
So justice and righteousness is a big deal to God.
Yes, it's what Abraham's family, the Israelites, were to be all about. They ended up as immigrant slaves being oppressed unjustly in Egypt. And so God confronted Egypt's evil, declaring them to be Rasha, guilty of injustice. And so he rescued Israel. But the tragic irony of the Old Testament story is that these redeemed people went on to commit the same acts of injustice against the vulnerable. And so God sent prophets who declared Israel guilty.
But they weren't the only ones. There's injustice everywhere.
Yeah, some people actively perpetrate injustice. Others receive benefits or privileges from unjust social structures they take for granted. And sadly, history has shown that when the oppressed gain power, they often become oppressors themselves.
So we all participate in injustice, actively or passively, even unintentionally. We're all the guilty ones.
And so this is the surprising message of the biblical story. God's response to humanity's legacy of injustice is to give us a gift, the life of Jesus. He did righteousness and justice, and yet he died on behalf of the guilty. But then God declared Jesus to be the righteous one when he rose from the dead. And so now Jesus offers his life to the guilty so that they too can be declared righteous before God, not because of anything they've done, but because of what Jesus did for them.
The earliest followers of Jesus experienced this righteousness from God, not just as a new status, but as a power that changed their lives and compelled them to act in surprising new ways.
Yeah, if God declared someone righteous when they didn't deserve it, the only reasonable response is to go and seek righteousness and justice for others.
This is a radical way of life, and it's not always convenient or easy. It's courageously making other people's problems my problems.
This is what Jesus meant by loving your neighbor as yourself. It's about a lifetime commitment fueled by the words of the ancient prophet Micah. God has told you, humans, what is good, and what the Lord requires of you is to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God.
I think my biggest takeaway from that video was the piece on restorative justice. It wasn't this idea of, well, someone has done a crime and then they need to serve time. It was this idea of taking what is not good and making it better. It's restoring it back to what it should be. And as the video mentioned, we were created to be righteous and just. And so what we're doing as humanity is we're trying to bring that back to our world. And I believe that God is calling each and every single one of us to step up and contribute to that restorative justice. We cannot do everything. We can't fix every problem. But one of the things we can do is each and every single one of you guys collectively can get together and you can actually make a difference. If everyone who's watching this decided, I'm going to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem, you will make a difference in this world and even in our community. And so I want to challenge you guys to accept that calling. That calling is to be righteous and to live justly, to live out that idea that things are not as they should be, and we need to stand up and fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. And so that's what it's all about today, and that's what I hope you take away, is this idea of restorative justice, how you can actually do things to restore what God created them to be. So with that, let's pray. God, I thank you for today. I thank you for your message of justice on our hearts. I thank you for calling us, God, to live a just life and to live a righteous life. God, thanks for placing that on our hearts, and I pray it would be cemented on our hearts forever. God, I pray that we would remember that you're calling us to live out the justice that we want to see, that we would actually step up and accept that invite, God. And so I pray over my friends today, God, that you would show up in their lives in a real way. Speak to them in a language they can only understand. And God, I'm just thankful for tonight. And I pray that this message would be on our hearts for years to come, God. Help us live these righteous and just lives And thank you for choosing us, God, to make a difference. We love you. Amen. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight. I hope you know that you're loved, not just by me and the other adult leaders, but you're also loved by God, the one who created the universe, the heavens and the earth. You are loved by Him. And I pray that you would go live like it. Go live like you are loved by God. Let's make a difference in the world today. We'll see you later.